It's been years since Emily died. I still remember the day I came to her house hoping that she would become my lifetime partner. That day was the most important day in my life because I was about to propose to a girl I was desperately in love with.
Such a stupid guy. Do you really believe that you can ask an aristocratic lady to marry you with all your roles like that?
A stream of feelings, which I can't exactly understand, is running inside me. The more hopeless I am, the more I love Emily. At the moment my eyes catch her, it seems that I may forget her for the rest of my life. A few weeks later, Emily's father died.
Have you heard that Mr. Pearson passed away? Oh dear, is that true? If so, we must come to visit her for condolence and aid if you need. Yes, of course, for Emily.
We came to her house, prepared to offer condolence and aid.
Miss Emily! Miss Emily! We're your neighbors. We heard about your father's death. Can you let her come to your house?
Miss Emily! Miss Emily! Is there anyone inside? Miss Emily!
That's so weird. Is she at home? I think we should be at home now.
What are you talking about? My father is not dead! Go away!
The same thing went on for 3 more days. The neighbor called on her. Everyone persuaded her to let them dispose of the body.
Miss Emily! As much as I'm grieving for your father's death, I still require you to open the door for me, or else I will use some force to open it.
She broke down on the 3rd day. And she was left with nothing but her house. I couldn't afford to help her. I knew this area wasn't a place for anyone to become rich and successful. I would go to the new area to build my career as great as possible. I promised myself to come back to this town only when I'm able to take care of her. After 1 year living in this cursed town, I made a great deal of fortune. I went back to the town with the hope of being able to propose to Emily again. Guess what happened? The summer after her father's death, Emily started to have an affair with Humble Baron, a foreman of the construction company. I knew my first year plan was now over, but I'm still happy for her. At least I knew there was a man who could take care of Emily. At least she finally found someone she loves. One night, after a hard-worked day, I headed straight to a club in town, enjoying my glass of beer for a while. I saw Homer and his friend come in. They sat close to my table, close enough so that I could hear their conversation.
Everyone in town is waiting for your wedding.
What do you mean?
Last week, Miss Emily went to the jeweler and another man thought I said in silver with the letter HP on it. Isn't it your name, Homer Baron? So, when will the wedding take place? We all are for both of you.
Sorry to disappoint you. There will be no wedding. I ain't the marrying kind.
Then what is your plan?
Well, who cares? I have never planned any plans with her.
I kept on thinking about their conversation until I noticed they had left for a while. I was the last one to leave. It's already midnight. The bar closed time. Outside, the road surfaced to have traces of water from the evening rain. There was no way I would let Emily keep the illusion of her wedding with asbestos. But how could I tell her all these truths? Would she believe me? No. Tomorrow, I will spread that rumors. As soon as the townspeople said poor Emily, as Emily and Homer Barron passed on Sunday afternoon in the glittering buggy, I was satisfied that Emily Lucy thought Homer and reconsidered her relationship with him.
He's not a married man.
What an innocent girl. We have to open her eyes.
No one in Jefferson had seen Homer anymore since the last time he was at Emily's house. I was sure that my plan was successful, that Miss Emily had broken up with him, and that he was leaving the town for good. After a few days, neighbors caught an acrid smell emanating from her house. Townspeople were complaining about that acrid smell pervading the house outside. A few days later, the smell became so tremendously terrible that they couldn't put up with it. Then they have to make a decision to notify the church.
The smell is from Miss Emily house. I don't know what the smell is, but you have to do something about it, church.
But what will you have me do about it, madam?
Why? Send her work to stop it. Isn't there a law?
I'm sure that won't be necessary. It's probably just a snake or a rat that nigger of her in the yard. I will speak to him about it.
The next day, he received another complaint from a man who came in different deprecation.
We really must do something about it, Church. I'll be the last one to bother Miss Emily, but you got to do something about it.
Finally, the board of aldermen decided to have lime sprinkled around Emily's house. After a week or two, the smell went away. I felt there's something wrong here, as if I had the sixth sense. However, it is not my unexpectedly natural sixth sense that told me there was a terrible secret hidden inside the house, but it is my logical sense that works. I am trying to secret all events that Emily has recently been involved in. The first event that I ignored was the rumor that the last time Homer Barron appeared in front of the doorway of Emily's house. Where did he go? Why has Emily always stayed at home since they met for the last time? The second event was the acrid smell emanating from her house. It had been lingering in my mind for a long period of time. In that evening, I had an appointment with my best friend, Mr. Smith, who was working as a pharmacist in a small drugstore in Jefferson Town.
How's it going?
Quite well, and you?
My business hasn't been very well. There's another drugstore nearby which has just opened last week.
Where did it come from?
I don't know. By the way, some days ago, Miss Emily approached me to buy a drug.
What drugs? What would you use it for?
Not really a kind of drug. It was a poison for rats, arsenic.
There's something wrong here.
Miss Emily was so strange. She didn't want to buy a normal drug, but instead arsenic, which is the most poisonous chemicals I've ever sold. Are there many rats sleeping across the house?
No, it can't be. It's so strange.
Hey, what's happening to you?
I just remember I have to do something. Sorry, sir.
Back home, I felt that the story Mr. Smith had told really strikes fear into my heart, but I didn't know what I was scared of. Sitting close to my working desk, unexpectedly, I got the idea of what had been happening recently. It must be true. Oh, my dear Emily, what had you done? It's been 30 years, and Emily has almost never left the house since Thomas disappeared. I still cared about her, but I am not in love with her anymore. Time had passed, and now I have my family of my own. I couldn't ask for anything more than this. And so she died. We did not even know she was sick. We had long since given up trying to get any information from the neighbor. They held the funeral on the second day, with the town coming to look at Miss Emily's face for the last time. I will always miss you, Emily. They waited until Miss Emily was decently in the road before they opened that one room in that region above stairs, which no one had seen in 40 years. The violence of breaking down the door seemed to fill this room with pervading dust. Upon a chair hung the suit, carefully folded. Beneath it, the two mute shoes and the discarded socks. For a long while we just stood there, looking down at the bed belonging to Miss Emily. There's a long strand of ironry here.
Trời ơi, hot girl mà không quay. Đi mà.
Rồi Hùng có gì á gấp được hả?
Hai đứa mày không có nói gì nha. Tôi im lặng nha. Bây giờ tao kêu action một cái, mày vẫn nhìn hai hướng này nhưng mà căng lên nha, căng ơi là căng luôn. Mới đéo tin kiểu điên luôn. Rồi.
Mày đừng khùng gì sao chứ.
Mày là Trời ơi, vô nha. Tao bấm vô nha. Vô chưa? Ủa, đừng vô nha. Được vô chưa? Đứa nào đọc ra đây cờ?
Ê, tao để bông hậu ở đâu? Gì vậy hả?
Đúng. Mày đọc thử.
Đừng coi chọc.
Ham lắm.
Đừng coi chọc.
Không, mày để ý là mày kiểu vậy nè, để
Mày nhấn chữ cái lỗ tai nha.
vậy nè. Vậy đây, được chưa?
Để sao nó nghệ thuật chưa ta? Này đây.
Để trên ngực, đấy là để.
Chọn muốn ta.
Ừ, để vậy đó.
Thôi, mày để tao cầm.
Còn miếng nữa. Cho trước đây mày biết má ơi. Rồi để là nước cho tao. Vậy ăn rồi.
Mẹ này dê quay.
Quay chưa vậy? Quay nãy giờ.
Không mày thì cũng cười. Cái là tự nhiên cái mày mà. Làm Để tới đâu là cắt được. Tới đâu là cắt hết.
Rồi.
Tào lao nhưng mà học bằng Việt Nam. Xàm mất chất xàm.
Ủa xong rồi hả? Trời đang ấy mà. Mưa mọi người. Mưa quá trời luôn. Hai mọi người ơi, về đi về. Trời đất ơi mệt quá, 3 ngày trời mỗi ngày mỗi buổi.